Hey man, say man, it's your boy DAALIGHT man, Daylight TV, back at y'all with another one. And on this trip, we're gonna be talking about baby oil Diddy, baby oil Diddy, and the very first Frico in Department of Justice history. We're gonna get into, the star witness, Cassie Potty Mouth Ventura, whatever. You and the public reaction to all of this, you know what I mean, on both sides of the spectrum. But first, hit that like and subscribe button, smash that notification bell if you really mob with the content. Daylight TV, let's get it. So like I said, man, the trial technically started last week. They were in jury selection and going through that whole process. Then you know, Monday we had the beginning of testimony. We'll have opening statements, and then the testimony started. First up was the star of this whole thing on the DA side, at least, and that's Cassie. Cassie Ventura, Cassandra. Um, and a lot came out, man. A lot came out. She was getting R. Kelly. I mean, it was just all kind of, it was madness, you know what I mean? And naturally, the internet being undefeated, the trolls were out, and so you had these, how could I say, these online advocates for victims' rights. And I say online advocate because they're not the people that are putting themselves at risk every day trying to get, women out of real domestic situations. I mean, it was an abusive relationship, but I really feel like Cassie and Diddy were just toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just couldn't get enough of each other. But while they were condemning everyone, who was making fun of the whole situation, I figured I'd make this video because shit, I'm making fun of Cassie goofy ass and the fact that they're prosecuting this as a federal RICO. You know what I'm saying? Like, people really like dragging this whole victim thing, and I get it, whatever. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm standing on this. If Cassie is a victim, she's a victim of her own greed and stupidity. You know what I mean? And this is not me advocating for Diddy's innocence or, and most men aren't advocating for Diddy's innocence anyway, because most dudes, especially dudes from New York, have been saying what everybody is just now trying to condemn Diddy for years. Like, if you grew up in New York City when Wendy Williams was on the radio, you know what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? No one's saying that he's right for any of that crazy shit that he was doing. But having been through the criminal justice system on a state level and, had the fear of a superseding federal indictment, coming, I just know that this case, if it was anyone else, would not be prosecuted as a RICO conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? At best, we got patronizing a prostitute in the first degree, which is punishable up to 7 years. You got domestic battery, that's a mandatory minimum of 5. It could go higher depending on, how severe it was. And then if he actually committed the essay that Cassie was talking about in 2018, then he could get up to 25 for that. So at that point, that would be around about a 50-year sentence or something like that, which at his age is a life sentence. He would end up with more time than should. But you know, people get so caught up in their emotions and they want the law to operate from their place of hurt and trauma, and this shit just don't go like that. Like, I feel like Cassie is a co-conspirator. Like, if Diddy is the John Gotti of Baby Oil, Cassie is Sammy the Bull. A guilty party playing victim so that they don't have to go down with the ship. And just like Sammy the Bull, she turned government witness, you know, after participating and being an accomplice in the Frico. Then she testifies, about how she was an unwilling co-conspirator, and she get to keep her money. Now, she's quoted saying on the stand that I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame, the guilt, the way the way I was guided to treat people like they were disposable. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and I'm here to do the right thing. Now, the way I read that wasn't an error. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was about to say the way she and Diddy treated people, and then she just like cleared it up or corrected herself. Now, she also testified that there were times when she initiated the physical altercations with Diddy, but never saw any bruises on him afterward. She even said that, once they split up, finally, she and Diddy had a few check-ins, whatever that means. Well, I know what that means. But they were nothing crazy. So I guess it was no baby oil or escorts involved. They were just them. Ooh, how romantic. So yeah, but that means even after all of that, like, um, getting kicked down the hallway and saying that, he took the coochie, and, she was still smashing dog. And by this time, she was no longer trapped on his property or anything. You know what I mean? She was gone. And in fact, she was dating the dude that she's married to and pregnant by now. And that's probably why the husband, Alec Fine, stormed out of the courtroom, because for her to still be having check-ins in 2018 means that she was still messing with Diddy while she was dating her current husband and soon to be father of her child. Well, she already got one kid by him. You know what I mean? Yeah, so, people really just dragging this whole victim thing based on what she said, and, like, not putting any type of accountability on, Shorty whatsoever. And here's my thing, right? If you got down with Bad Boy after the locks left, I have no sympathy for you, or whatever it is that you probably went through over there. Especially if you were an adult. Like, I mean, you were grown, like. So, that's like smoking crack in 2025 and saying that you didn't know it was going to turn you into Pookie when crack had been around making Pookies out of niggas for 40 years or more.
Just be calling me, man. Be calling me, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they just thought they could take that, and didn't really understand everything that came with. You know what I mean? While this nigga Diddy is fighting the Frico, He's still facing lawsuits for diddling people. And they said a witness revealed in a lawsuit report or something that Diddy essayed her with a Tootsie Roll sized eggplant, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? And I thought to myself, damn, did that mean that the 69 Boys song Tootsie Roll was a Diddy diss? Did somebody at the Freaknik put Diddy on blast? Nah, I'm bullshitting. But that would explain why he was hiring those well endowed male escorts. You know what I'm saying? This nigga literally was fucking the same way he makes music. Like if he ain't had the talent or the skill set or whatever, the gift to get it done himself, he hires someone else to satisfy his audience. Like he really went from "Don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks" to "Don't worry if my dick big, I hired horses." I don't know, but she in the midst of all of this, Cassie getting to her bag. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of speculation about how much she got out of that 30 million. Some people were saying that it wasn't over 7 figures, but according to court testimony, Cassie actually managed to get 20 million behind Diddy not wanting that tape and everything else to come out. You know, everything that's happening now. You know, but particularly that tape of him, you know, going David Beckham upside her head to get out. Now that means that after the lawyer took his 33 or 40%, um, she walked away with about 13.4 million, 12 million on the low end. You know what I'm saying? It's I mean, look, it's professional fighters who have been getting kicked in their head by other professionals for twice as long and didn't see half of that money that Cassie got from Diddy. You know what I mean? Cassie also confirmed in her testimony on Friday that she was expecting another settlement for $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel Group about the 2016 assault, you know, by Diddy that we were just talking about. You know what I mean? So I guess, you know, it's for their negligence of not turning the video over to the proper authorities and whatnot. Now, I mean, you know, that ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket. Like the Intercontinental Hotel has a market capitalization of 18.6 billion, and that's with a big B. You know what I mean? So after attorney fees, she's probably paying the 40% because she probably don't have like the bread up front to just pay to take that nigga to war like that, like Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, she gonna get about 6 million when it's all done. And adding that to the 12 million she got out of the $20 million lawsuit with Diddy, she's up about 18 mil, bro. I just hope somebody's kicking some real you know, good financial game in her head so that she don't go and piss it all away. All puns intended. Um, you know what else is crazy about all of this to me? Is nobody bringing up Ryan Leslie, and this is the guy that, you know, Cassie was signed to first and actually introduced her to Diddy in the first place. Now, what I didn't know until I was researching you know, based on researching some of what I was getting from the testimony in the trial, uh I didn't know that Ryan Leslie and Cassie were romantically involved for approximately 3 years before she met Diddy. Now they're saying that Cassie met Diddy in 2005 when she was 19 years old. So if she had been romantically involved with Ryan Leslie a whole 3 years prior, wouldn't that put her at like 16? You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, it's like mixed report, but like that was just crazy how that came out. Like, I don't know as far as the timeline, but I mean, he's damn near 10 years older than her because he about 10 years younger than Diddy. You know what I mean? And now you have women out here saying that, the men who are making fun of Cassie after hearing all the things that came out of her testimony are in support of Diddy, and we're not taking victims' rights seriously. And I just want to say, man, get off the boo boo. You know what I mean? But as someone who was one of the people laughing at this whole thing, I kind of felt the way. But it wasn't guilt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw one woman in a video shared by the Legit Hustle, Ashaki. Shout out to her. Shout out to the whole Legit Hustle. Uh, where this airhead bro was complaining about why there was no videos of Diddy's trial and why we're only left with doodles and of what's going on in the courtroom. And this is what I mean when I say that people, in this case particularly women, just speak from emotion with no real research, no nothing. Um they're not called doodles for one. They're called courtroom sketches. And for two, they've been used in court proceedings since the 1600s. You know what I mean? Before cameras and all that, because that was the only way that you could really depict what was going on in the courtroom, right? They are still used today in federal court because normally cameras are not permitted in federal courtrooms. Probably didn't know that. Which leads me back to the jokes being made about this entire situation. The doodles or court sketches, whatever your vocabulary permits you to comprehend better. You understand what I'm saying? But how am I supposed to take all of this Diddy shit serious when the sketch artist is on his Saturday Night Live shit or Mad TV or something? Cause this nigga Diddy in these sketches, he looked like a cross between a pimp named Slickback and Uncle Ruckus. You know what I'm saying? I saw another post where someone said if Aaliyah was alive and in the same predicament that Cassie was in, no one would believe her either, you know. And I feel like that's a damn lie. I feel like more people would stand up for Aaliyah or whatever than Cassie because, she was actually talented. She was literally a child, all of 12 years old, when she began working with R. Kelly's sick ass. And also, it's bullshit because do you know how many times I've seen dudes jump in the comments on social media or even address women in real life who were playing R. Kelly and dancing to his music after all of this stuff had come out, the tapes and everything? And you know what their response was? A lot of these chicks, well, he ain't pee on me or my daughter. So if Aaliyah was alive, both men and women would still be bumping R. Kelly, along with Aaliyah, his most famous victim, on the same damn playlist called I Don't See Nothing Wrong. So yeah, fuck Cassie. If we're gonna feel bad for Cassie, let's feel bad for every young man that joined the gang that controlled their whole neighborhood. Since we're talking about control, um, and couldn't figure out a way out to life. You know what I mean? If that's how we're gonna classify victims, because there's real women out here who are in nightmares of a relationship And to me, Cassie was just an employee that started smashing her boss because she saw an opportunity to get ahead. And the shit just didn't go the way she thought. Her own family didn't even stand up for her. I think her brother even took a job after knowing that this dude Diddy was actually abusing his sister. He gonna work for the nigga. You know what I'm saying? So, if her own family ain't stand up to her, like, why do y'all think that anybody on the internet that don't even know Shorty is gonna go out of their way or just feel extra hurt? Her brother wasn't hurt enough to take the job. Cassie is no Tina Turner, dog. So if I catch you on my timeline treating Cassie as though she's some righteous cause to raise awareness to the rights of victims and abusive relationship, I'm being your comment trolling. Because maturity is realizing that Cassie was not really talented enough to be anything more than what she was. And you know who Cassie was? Cassie was Angela Veraco. If anyone has ever seen Barry Gordy, The Last Dragon, I know some of y'all in my age group or whatever have seen it, but to the youngest, man, it's a classic. Go check it out or whatever and shit. Kind of dope. You'll see what I mean. Um, Anyway, Angela Veraco was the girlfriend of the shady mob boss slash like record or film producer in The Last Dragon. And what she was a mediocre talent who was sexually deviant enough to find an executive producer who, although may think her music sucks, like the way that she sucks enough to look past all that. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much my take on this shit, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's just week one. You know, I'm wondering how the jury is processing all of this information. You know, where they're at, what percentage feels like guilty, what percentage doesn't, and it seems like we still got a way to go, man. Like, probably a lot of witnesses still to come. I'm wondering who's next up. You know what I'm saying? Um, Going forward, I think I'm gonna start covering everything at the end of the week instead of at the end of every day, every court date. Because sometimes like the testimony can last more than one day. You get what I mean? So waiting until the end of the week would just allow me to give you a deeper and more comprehensive video. But let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. If you're still here, I appreciate y'all. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that notification bell if you're really mobbing with the content. And as always, stay dangerous so you can be safe, especially if Diddy is standing behind you. And yeah, it's your boy Daylight, man. Daylight TV. I'm out.